No one saw this coming. Not Papoose, not the internet, not even the die-hard fans who insisted that nothing serious was happening. What started as a simple mention from 50 Cent in the middle of a feud, completely unrelated to anyone else, unexpectedly exploded into a whirlwind of drama. It seemed harmless at first, just a name casually dropped to provoke a reaction, stir conversation, and in true 50 Cent fashion, mark his territory when someone stepped into his world. But the situation quickly spun out of control, far beyond what anyone could have anticipated. No one in Claressa Shields' circle was prepared for the revelations that followed. Maserati Bud didn't rely on leaks, anonymous tips, or screenshots floating around online. Instead, he reportedly shared detailed accounts on record that stunned everyone. These claims went far beyond casual encounters or industry connections. According to insiders, he described repeated private access that would be considered impossible for most professional friends. He allegedly gave specifics about visiting her home on certain dates, being in precise rooms, even pointing out furniture he supposedly helped choose. There were hints of footage he hadn't released yet, and the internet has been buzzing ever since. Interestingly, 50 Cent may not have even started this drama. Reports suggest the connection between Claressa Shields and Maserati Bud had been quietly circulating for months, almost a year before 50 Cent mentioned anything publicly. Rumors allegedly existed in private circles, reaching bloggers who were reportedly pressured to delete posts. Some insiders claim that 50 Cent had access to this information long before the public even knew it existed. The timing of his post wasn't random. It seems it was carefully chosen to create the maximum impact, striking before the full story could be pieced together. Claressa Shields, hailing from Flint, Michigan, is a two-time Olympic gold medalist and an undisputed champion. She built her reputation on strength, resilience, and the ability to handle immense pressure without faltering. Her public persona is not just for show. Decades of documented determination show she thrives under challenges most people would find crushing. That is why insiders were so shocked when they noticed what they describe as a flicker of doubt or a shift toward damage control energy in her response to the drama. Seeing even a hint of uncertainty from someone as composed as Shields was unexpected and caught commentators off guard. Meanwhile, Papoose, the Brooklyn rapper from Brownsville who remains married to Remy Ma, has maintained his role as a loyal and steady presence throughout this saga. Sources say his silence in the face of Maserati Bud's claims speaks volumes. The absence of a public statement seemed more telling than any comment could have been. At the same time, Maserati Bud, connected to music circles in Miami, appeared to recognize a turning point when Claressa publicly posted a phone call with him. According to insiders, he interpreted the post as a sign that any courtesy or restraint had ended, and he may have had much more information than was publicly shared. The unfolding pattern started with 50 Cent posting a name, a photo, and a question aimed at Papoose regarding Claressa Shields and Maserati Bud. Many dismissed it as typical 50 Cent trolling, expecting it to fade like any other online provocation. But sources claim the story didn't disappear because the underlying details were genuine. When Claressa attempted to defend herself by recording and posting a phone call with Maserati Bud, the move was supposed to prove her innocence. Insiders say this was a calculated strategy to end the narrative, showing there was nothing to hide. However, it allegedly backfired. Maserati Bud reportedly saw it as an attempt to use him to control the story, and he reacted by threatening to release recordings and footage, dramatically escalating the situation. Reports even placed Maserati Bud inside Claressa's home on a Christmas night while Papoose was elsewhere, detailing the exact room, the furniture he helped choose, and a FaceTime call involving Papoose. Insiders note that this level of precision is unusual, and likely comes from someone who was actually present. Whether the footage exists or not seems secondary to the shock that no one from Claressa's inner circle publicly disputed the specific claims, leaving general denials to stand against detailed allegations. The chaos that began as a casual mention has now turned into a full-blown spectacle, leaving the internet, fans, and everyone involved scrambling to make sense of the story. It is a tangled web of timing, reputation, and high-stakes drama, showing that sometimes even the most controlled public figures can find themselves in situations beyond anyone's expectations. Sources say that when it comes to drama, details matter. Specifics are what make a story believable, what make people pay attention, And what keep a narrative alive long after the initial shock? What began as a seemingly simple feud between 50 Cent and Papoose quickly grew into something far larger, something no one expected. At first, it looked like two grown men tossing AI memes, social media jabs, and playful diss tracks. The kind of rivalry that seems more like teenage posturing than serious conflict. But what started as a casual back and forth soon pulled in a circle of people who never wanted to be in the spotlight, and things got complicated fast. Claressa Shields stepped in at a pivotal moment, confronting 50 Cent and flipping the story in a way that changed how the public saw the situation. Meanwhile, Maserati Bud reportedly decided that the time for silence was over. Papoose, the man known for loyalty and discretion, found himself caught in the center of a story that insiders suggest he may have known the least about. The unfolding events became a whirlwind, with twists and turns that no one could have anticipated. Interestingly, sources suggest that the drama with Maserati Bud didn't appear out of nowhere. There was a parallel thread running quietly behind the scenes that predated 50 Cent's posts, and even the phone call that many say triggered the explosion of attention. A blogger reportedly shared photos, videos, and even named Maserati Bud in connection with Claressa Shields before 50 Cent ever mentioned anything publicly. That blogger allegedly faced legal pressure to remove her posts, and she did. But insiders say that this earlier exposure may have provided 50 Cent with the perfect opportunity. By sharing similar information on his platform, which is harder to suppress than a single blogger, he allegedly transformed what could have been random trolling into a calculated, deliberate act. Every move appeared carefully timed, chosen for maximum impact, and intended to keep the story alive far longer than any ordinary social media post. Even before the public explosion, sources say Remy Ma may have been aware of certain questions regarding Papoose's private life, though not the specific Maserati Bud claims. Allegedly, she raised concerns privately, before anyone else knew there was a developing story. Those questions, initially ignored, are now being revisited in light of the chaos. What exactly she asked and whether she had concrete evidence remain unclear, but insiders suggest these early inquiries were significant, even if the public hasn't fully pieced them together. The story continued to grow. Sources say that Maserati Bud has not revealed everything he reportedly possesses. What has been shared so far is enough to establish credibility, suggest access, and make denials from others largely ineffective. There are claims about Christmas night events inside Claressa Shields' home, including the exact room, specific furniture, and a FaceTime call taking place with Papoose while Maserati Bud was allegedly present. This level of detail is striking, and insiders suggest it comes from someone actually involved, rather than from rumors or speculation. The footage from that night has not been fully released, and sources say that is intentional. It is not that the recordings don't exist, but rather that Maserati Bud is allegedly weighing the potential impact before deciding whether to share them. He is reportedly watching to see if the information he has already released has reached the intended audience in a meaningful way. This careful, strategic approach has kept the story alive and unpredictable, leaving the public unsure about what will happen next. Claressa Shields' team is reportedly navigating an unprecedented situation, described by insiders as a tangled web of public scrutiny, failed suppression efforts, multiple information channels, and legally complicated circumstances. There appears to be debate within her circle about whether responding or staying silent is the better strategy. Some believe that any acknowledgement only fuels the controversy, while others feel that detailed claims require a response, and that silence may be misinterpreted as weakness. Papoose, according to sources, may know more about the timeline than he has publicly admitted, but even he was not fully briefed as events unfolded. The underlying pattern is clear. There was a suppressed blogger post, a calculated release by 50 Cent on a platform he controls, a phone call that backfired, precise details of a Christmas timeline, and alleged unreleased footage. Remy Ma appears to have asked questions early that are only now gaining relevance. Every move seems orchestrated, not spontaneous, and the most revealing elements may still be held back. According to insiders, the story is far from over. Each revelation, each post, and each recorded conversation has been part of a larger narrative that is highly structured, highly documented, and far from random. Every public statement, every leaked detail, and every claim made by Maserati Bud appears to serve a strategic purpose, shaping the story carefully while leaving enough uncertainty to keep the public guessing. This saga is ongoing, and what has yet to be released could change the way the story is understood entirely.